This week, sounds like there might be some possibilities for a Man of Steel 2, maybe. We're going to talk about that. There's some Harrison Ford MCU news, believe it or not. All that and more coming up next on Flicker Effect, episode 420. What's up, guys? Or what's up, Michelle? In the ghost screen below us.
Oh no!
There he is. There he is.
There it is.
There's Yasha Wilson.
Creeping in there.
That was my Alfred Hitchcock entrance. Since I'm going to talk a little bit about horror movies today. Yeah, just a little bit.
It's not horror movie.
But how good was that? You guys were totally not expecting it, and I thought about it
like,
just
what
the very last
Totally
minute.
got us. I thought you had died.
I was like, did he pass out? What happened?
Sorry, that was my own little fun entrance. So
It's all
Good.
I'm good. It's just the three of us, which is unfortunately a total last minute change. Bobby was going to be here. Like, we found out literally 10 minutes ago that he unfortunately has technical problems. I think it's basically no internet right now. So hey, you kind of need internet to do things like this.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
So we're gonna now kind of have a wing it show since he kind of had the show planned out, and we got this.
Those are the best shows.
Still gonna
We
be
got
good.
this. Shout out to Bobby Jackson.
Shout out to
Bobby Jackson.
Bobby Jackson.
Bobby, if you're watching on your phone with your cell service, sorry you couldn't make it.
Bobby Jackson.
I feel like it's worth mentioning. It was a big weekend. We are going to San Diego Comic-Con next year, and I'm super pumped.
Let's just clap it up there. I mean, how exciting is that? I think everybody got the days that they wanted, and I'm super, super excited when it all worked out for everyone. I literally was just elated with joy. That's the best way to describe it.
It was pure joy, pure elation. Like, I wasn't even here at the house, and David was taking care of the whole situation, and like, I'm driving back home, and then I get the confirmation emails that tickets for Comic-Con were purchased. And I was like, what is happening on my phone? Oh, it was a feeling.
Yeah, for anybody wondering, so pre-registration for San Diego Comic-Con 2023 was this past weekend. Pre-registration, you have to be eligible by having attended the last con. Or in this case, it was odd circumstances. It wasn't just the last San Diego Comic-Con, but also the special edition version they did back around Thanksgiving, which is kind of how we were able to be eligible for that, or at least some of us, Michelle and I. I always go into a Comic-Con badge sale at this point with just like total F it. I have no expectations of getting a badge. It is so incredibly difficult to get a badge anymore. And I was shocked that we got all 4 days.
All 4 days!
Which is, I was even if we were going to get them, I was like, we'll probably get in and it'll be like Sunday and Thursday. Fine, whatever. I'll take it. I'll still fly out there and have a great time. But we got all 4 days and I'm pumped. It's been a while now.
It has been a while. We went in 2018?
I think we did. I don't even remember. Did we go there recently?
I know we didn't go 2019, and obviously
no, we
not
definitely didn't go
2020.
2019.
I want to say it was 2018.
It might have been, yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. But I'm so excited.
I'm pumped. Thought it was worth mentioning, and not to rub it in anyone's face, because like I said, I know the pain of not being able to get a badge, and I've now gone through that many times, not being able to get badges. So I get it. It sucks, but this was the year we got lucky. So.
Well, I mean, and on top of that,
we were all very lucky.
Yeah. I think on top of all of it was that there was the technical issues that they were having with their website. I guess it was a new platform they were using, and there was a lot of drama, and it wound up being like delayed by basically over an hour before they finally got the whole thing up and running again. So it's like,
there was drama.
I wonder how many people were really trying to get a badge and then wound up having to be like, I can't do it. I got to bail. I have to go to my job, or I have things to do, or whatever.
I saw a lot of complaints like that on Twitter, as we were all on Twitter, like kind of like trying to keep up to date, like what the hell is going on. I saw a lot of people going, hey, you guys shouldn't be pushing it back. You should just reschedule it. You know, some people have places to go and things to do. And I mean, I kind of feel, yeah, like absolutely. But then at the same time, they could reschedule it for a date. Then other people are like, wait, I can't do it that date. I was planning on this date. You know, like
Right.
it's a no-win
It
scenario.
is a no-win scenario.
Technical issues happen, as we know tonight. So it sucks, but hey, we got badges, so I'm happy.
We're all of us, all four of us, Comic-Con 2023, baby. Woo! Hey, I'm excited, dude. I am so excited.
All right, well, let's jump into things, even if I'm not as prepared as Bobby was probably going to be. As I teased at the opening of the show, so there was a Hollywood Reporter kind of exclusive a couple days ago, I think it was, talking about basically Warner Brothers and DC in general, and kind of somewhat where things are headed, kind of touching on the fact that Dwayne Johnson is trying to, if you will forgive me, you know, flexing his muscle to make things happen. Yeah. And kind of the possible plans that James Gunn has for DC. But in the article, it is mentioned, they're reporting that they do seem to be developing a Man of Steel sequel, Man of Steel 2. It looks like they have, it's being produced by Charles Roven. They're currently searching for writers. I'm looking at the article right now and trying to find the information I need. And that is seems to be a thing. And I guess the idea would be, you know, as I said, it's, you know, the idea being it's a Man of Steel 2. This would have Henry Cavill in the suit. He would be Superman again.
He's down for it.
I mean, they're riding the coattails of the success from the last one. So I mean, they're really right up there with it, right? So I mean, that's
yeah, they're right on top.
Perfect timing for right on top of it.
Keeping it all fresh in our minds,
DC.
man.
Well, with that said, Yasha,
fucking DC.
Yeah, I'll go to you first.
Yeah.
It's been, as you just mentioned, it's been quite a while. A lot of us have been going, "Hey, we love Henry Cavill as Superman. Why, with all these DC projects that you are throwing at the wall, like why not a Man of Steel 2?" And it didn't seem like it was a priority. Like finally, it would appear that the plans are in the works to make a sequel happen with him still as Superman. Yasha, are you like just done? I don't care. I don't even want to see it. Do you like Henry Cavill's Superman? Like what are you all excited by this news?
Yeah. No, I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. I like the first one. I like Henry Cavill. I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I would be stoked to watch Man of Steel 2, probably because I really just enjoy the character and seeing the character on the big screen. And if Dwayne Johnson is flexing his, you know, for proverbial muscles to get things kind of moving in the DC universe, is like, this is an idea. I mean, who wouldn't want a franchise? But to put it into context, this movie came out, Man of Steel came out in 2013, right? So let's take a look at this. 2013 was damn near 10 years ago. In that same amount of time it's taking them to create a sequel, the MCU has ended the arc for a few of their characters. Like, just billions of dollars made from all of these films. And they're just barely getting a sequel, which is why I stand by my statement. Warner Brothers has no fucking idea what to do with their properties. And it's like, you know, and I read an article the other day that Dwayne Johnson said,
Comic-Con, that's going to be one of them.
Yeah, Warner Brothers doesn't know what they're doing. I know I will do that. But I read an article, or not an article, a tweet that The Rock put out the other day, and he was just like, "We're not trying to be MCU. We're trying to be our own thing." Fair. I respect your dedication and your brand loyalty to your market right now. But what's wrong with trying to do a little like what they've done? They're making money hand over fist, and almost to the point where everything they put out is coming back with a return, and broadening the spectrum of who's interested in watching these shows. I'm not saying it has to be exactly the same, but it's like they at least had a plan and not doing like David, you just said, throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. We're talking about a company that had this amazing film where this powerful person, this woman, comes in and takes over the entire fucking universe, and they didn't have a plan for a sequel until like what, a month after the movie came out? Like, what took you so long? Like, the movie made over like $400 million in its first weekend or whatever it was. It was something insane, and they were just like not prepared for the success that it had.
Yep.
But and here we have Aquaman, where they're like almost immediately greenlit a sequel. And we know how much you loved that movie. But
yeah, but it made money.
I mean, it made money, and
so I don't like it. But
agreed. I understand, but it's like I don't understand the delay when people were literally clamoring for this and like demanding release the Snyderverse and all this other shit and wanting people to see it, and they just sat on this decision or just like waiting to see, like, look, they're gonna make money with The Rock. The Rock, everything that guy does, it's like even his bad movies he makes money on.
Right.
But like this is something that literally relaunches the entire universe, and who wouldn't want a franchise? I mean, his deal is probably stupid. Like, it's probably stupid, like $60 million and then points on the back end of the film. And then all of the merchandise with his likeness on it. And then on top of that, being able to use that cross marketing when it comes to his Zoa energy drink, which he was doing at Comic-Con last year. Like, he's not an idiot. His team is not stupid. They know what his brand is like and what his brand brings. And he is eating it up. So it's like, yeah, why wouldn't you want a franchise where you can play this character for like what, the next 5 to 7 years, maybe 8? Because if they, and I say that means another what, 2 movies or 3 movies for him, because let's not act like Warner Brothers is moving quick with this shit. They are going at a snail's pace. So yes, to answer your question, sorry David, I got off on a tangent. I am excited to hear that. I'm trying to stay off of social media because I'm starting to see leaks because people have no respect for anybody that hasn't seen the movie yet when it's coming out, and I'm getting the idea of what's of Black Adam and get what's to come. But yeah, I'd be totally stoked to see another Superman. I'd be hyped to see another Superman. I would love to see what they're alluding to, which is, the Superman, Shazam, Black Adam type of thing. Like, I would be stoked on that. Like, that would be awesome. But let's see if Warner Brothers can make it happen.
Michelle, any thoughts on that?
I mean, I have the same sentiments. Like, I really like Henry Cavill in basically everything he's ever done, and I love Henry Cavill as Superman and as Clark Kent. I think he does it. He just embodies it to me in my generation, I guess, in the same way that I think Christopher Reeve embodied Superman when he put on the blue suit. And I mean, I've been wanting a Man of Steel sequel since I walked out of the theater from Man of Steel 1. Like, it's something I've been clamoring for. The downside is it's going to take slightly over 10 years. If this goes down, it'll be over 10 years since that first film came out, which is crazy. And I say this, and we did get to see a little bit more of him with Dawn of Justice, and of course Batman v Superman. But I want a story based on him, on Kal-El, focusing on him and his situation. I can only hope for the best writers, and I can only hope for a really good director, like they're saying that they think it is going to be, and they're pretty sure, it seems like, I guess.
Pretty sure it seems like.
That director.
Oh, there's a producer attached. There's no director
okay.
attached, no writer yet. They're searching for writers.
I can only hope for the best, but it's hard to let myself get too attached to this idea because DC is DC and it's owned by Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers does the Warner Brothers things with DC things, and I think I just kind of take it, day by day when it comes to this kind of news, and I try not to get too attached to it all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I'm at least with this particular situation.
Yeah, to jump on what you're saying, I would agree with that sentiment right there. Like, One, I want to see of Man of Steel 2, absolutely. I want to see Henry Cavill back as Superman. But I have a hard time, even if it is the Hollywood Reporter reporting this, and I mean, this is a major trade
And I think they're
reporting,
accurate.
and I absolutely think they're accurate, but my point being, it's still, I'm going to have a hard time getting way too pumped, like, blaring the trumpets that, yay, Henry Cavill's coming back as Superman, like in a full-length film, like not just some cameo in something, like that I will not do yet until there seems to be definitive, like, real plans happening here. And even if they were to announce it at Comic-Con, it would still be like, but really? I mean, they've announced numerous things in Hall H at Comic-Con that have not come to be. But I mean, sure. I part of me wants to get pumped and excited, and part of me is like, we'll see. I guess the other thing that gives me pause is that, and I mean, maybe some things have happened that I don't realize and not aware of yet. But I mean, I know Warner Brothers, it sounds like they're still on the hunt for basically a Kevin Feige figurehead for their DC universe, and I don't think that has happened yet. If that were in place too, that would give me some reassurance that, okay, maybe if there's a figurehead in place that is now going to really oversee everything at DC and kind of has a game plan, then cool. Otherwise, it's like, is it still just throwing stuff at the walls and, okay, hey, people want a Henry Cavill Superman movie, let's just make one, which is cool and all, but I don't know.
You want it to be quality, and you want it to be done with intention.
I don't want it to be forced.
Yeah. I'm with you.
You want to manage your expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And trust me, I am definitely managing my expectations of like what's to come. Just because rumors are starting to fly, would I love to see it though? I would love to see that character back on the big screen. I would love to see it, but at the same time, they're in the habit of like, oh, well, let's go with what's hot, or let's try to rebrand it, or let's try and do this, and let's try and change this just a little bit. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, you have all these different, things, and it's like you don't want to be you don't want to be the MCU, so you try and distance yourself so far away from it that it just makes it look stupid, and it makes it bad.
Right. Bobby Jackson's here.
Bobby Jackson!
Hey. I am here.
Bobby Jackson!
Y'all should look serious.
You're breaking up a lot, but you're here.
Your audio's a little dodgy.
Yeah, your video's frozen.
And he's frozen again, too.
Yeah.
So, it's not great.
Stupid internet.
There you are.
It's a little better now.
There you are.
Very noisy.
Okay, maybe it just took a minute.
That feedback is awesome, man.
There's a lot of noise on my end.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got better now,
It
though.
happens. I think there's a gentle hum.
All right.
Yeah, there's a hum.
Give me a minute. I'll dip out and dip back in. Talk amongst yourselves.
All right, well, we'll keep going.
We look forward to seeing you back again. All right.
All right.
So next, yeah.
Yeah, that was the kind of the big news, at least from Marvel and DC this week. There was other stuff in that report. There was talk about the fact that they had already, I think, written a script for a Flash sequel, which I think a lot of people went and ran with like, all right, man, they are totally gung ho on a Flash sequel. And I mean, I think, from my understanding, the studio kind of just in preparation for the possibility of the film doing really well, probably before all the Ezra Miller drama.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
they went ahead and paid a writer to write a sequel with the idea of, okay, if this does super well, we can just green light a sequel and we're already one step ahead.
Right. I think that was the idea.
And I think a lot of people kind of ran with that with like, oh, like, this, it's a lot farther along than that really is. And hey, what about Ezra Miller? Which, yeah, of course, I think there's a ton of big questions now. Like, if the film is super successful, they'd probably recast it, or would they? Or depending on if Ezra Miller's in jail or not, like, what do you do?
That guy's such a train wreck.
25
He's such
to
a
life,
train
baby. Or 26 to life. Woo!
Right.
What a train wreck. He's such a train wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I just thought that was worth mentioning. There was a decent amount of stuff. I don't have it in the show notes right now as we're streaming live, but I'll throw a link to the article down in the show notes as soon as we're done. So if you're curious about everything that the Hollywood Reporter reported on regarding Warner Brothers and DC, you could go check it out for yourself. But
Yeah, there's a decent amount. Sounds like there's, like we were saying, the Rock's jumping in, James Gunn's jumping in. There's talk about the Man of Steel sequel, and then of course now the whole like, oh, but there might be a script possibly for Flash 2, and it's like, yeah, we'll see. And then DC as a whole is just kind of, they're dropping a couple of projects. So yeah, it's an article to check out for sure.
right.
You know, it'd be cool watching the first Flash first. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just get that.
Let's
Let's
get
get there.
that out there.
Yeah, let's
But
one step at a time. Okay, let's watch Flashpoint or whatever it is they want to call it. Because
Yeah, right.
let's just pace ourselves a little bit, because it's not like we're getting another one anytime soon. Manage those expectations.
Right.
Is how you
Exactly.
Warner Brothers, where we encourage you to manage your expectations. Yeah.
It's the most accurate hashtag ever.
I love that. I might put that on the shirt.
That's a
I
good
might put
t-shirt. That's a good
big
shirt.
ass WB right there, and then in the caption underneath it, Warner Brothers, where we encourage you to manage your expectations.
I love it.
Now we get a lot of heat next year. Next summer, it's gonna
Copyright
be
it. I
great.
love it. It's great.
In other news, there has been some casting news regarding the MCU and Harrison Ford.
Those are two things I would have never
Never-
thought would have been in the same sentence
Nope,
together.
not at least at this point in his career. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like, isn't he basically retiring at this point? I mean, he's got Indiana Jones 5 or whatever coming out, and I kind of figured he would just be kind of riding off into the sunset and doing his own thing. And now I'm hearing he is going to be taking over the role of General Thaddeus Ross in Captain America 4, right? And
Yes.
something else. I think I forget what it was, but anyway, yeah, I like Harrison Ford. I don't mean to come across like,
Right.
what the hell, but I guess I'm just surprised. I never would have guessed this.
I mean, I'll say it for you. What the hell, man? Like, it's like, dude, you're 80. Look, I love Harrison Ford. I will watch everything that guy does because he's dope. But at the same time, I'm just like, I wonder is he bored? Because it's just like, seems so out of cuff for him when it comes to like his roles. Like, I mean, he does a lot of vast stuff and things that you would never expect him to do. But it's like, for this one, it's just like, I wonder what Kevin said to him to get him to like do this.
How
Like,
did
is this a
those
one and done thing?
Yeah.
Or is it a, like, does he have a commitment that he has to follow through on? Like, which would
Right.
really weird me out. He's like, Harrison Ford is in the next 10 Marvel movies. Like, what the fuck? Are you serious? like
Like, how did
But,
those lunches go, man? Like, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. I'm surprised by it. Like I said, if you would have said Harrison Ford attached to MCU films, I was like, what? That is not a sentence that I ever thought I would read or hear or say.
Yeah, and this
Ever.
was a thing that was being kind of already thrown out there on film Twitter like a couple days early by I think a couple people who were like, "Hey, I'm hearing from sources that this is in the works."
Right.
And I remember thinking, "Nah, I don't buy
Yeah.
it." Like these are guys I trust, and if they're saying they have sources, usually I'm like, "Okay." For the most part, they're accurate, and they wouldn't just say anything. But I was like, there's no way Harrison Ford's doing a Marvel movie.
Right.
And then sure enough, Deadline reports it. It's gospel. I'm like, okay, I guess it's a thing.
Yeah.
Guess that's happening.
Fine.
Cool.
That's yeah. I'm moving right
Cool.
along, I guess. There's
Moving
no other
right
way
along.
to describe it.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Not much. That was pretty much it. But Yasha, I wanted to go to you. It seemed like you had a couple things that you maybe watched this week you wanted to talk about.
fresh.
Sure. I will just kind of address a couple of those things real quick. I got a chance to watch the new Hellraiser movie that they put out on Hulu. Yeah. So I got a chance to also watch Halloween, and I took the time to go watch that in the theater.
The third one, the new one?
Halloween Ends.
Yes. Halloween Ends. Sorry. And thank God that it did. And it was not great. Honestly, neither one of them was really worth the effort or the time. For some classic horror films that we have, especially with Hellraiser being almost like one of the first kind of gore films, at least that I remember watching as a kid. Yeah, it was kind of lackluster and a little boring, and almost a little predictable at the sense too. It was not great. Halloween, kind of the same mark, which is sad because there's a couple of characters in that movie that they were really solid actors, really really talented, and you can see the change in their characters throughout the role. I would not recommend watching it. Like I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably like a 3 or a 4. Like.
Ooh.
I asked Bobby if he got a chance to watch it, and he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, what'd you think?" He's like, "I mean," and like that was his pause.
When Bobby starts with, like that's never.
And
good.
it's like, which is like so sad because it's like Bobby and I align on just about everything when it comes to like the opinions of like when we're watching stuff. Actually, we all pretty much align very closely with stuff, but it's like. When Bobby and I talk, it's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And, we watch it and he would talk to me about it and I would talk to him about something. It's like, and we both see the flaws in certain things. But his pause was really, really telling, and I should have listened because I could have saved my money. But it was not great. The one thing that I will say that is great, that I definitely highly recommend everybody watch if you want a good laugh, and that is Reboot, and that is on Hulu right now. And I absolutely adore the show. I can't remember the last time that I've laughed out loud quite as hard as I have with this show. And it's just, it's a Hulu show. Johnny Knoxville's in it. Keegan-Michael Key. I'm forgetting one of the main actors.
Yeah,
Judy Greer's in it.
Yeah.
Judy Greer's in it. Paul Reiser, who was fantastic in it. There's a lot of familiar faces that you wouldn't necessarily know, like just if I rattle them off, like Elias. Well, she's actually new. I think her name is Elias Chanel Scott, but Rose of Doe, Fred Melamed, George Weiner. Like these are all characters. If you saw them, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I know who that is. But Paul Reiser's in it. Absolutely fantastic. Rachel Bloom is in it. Fantastic. Keegan-Michael Key. Johnny Knoxville is laugh out loud funny. But I just, if you guys want like something that's a sitcom, but not quite a sitcom and seems very, very fresh in the sense, but at the same time, a little predictable, it's really, really funny. Like some of the stuff that I've seen is just like, it kind of throws me off, but it's like, I would highly recommend watching it. I'm absolutely adoring the show. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, that one looks pretty cute for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. And it's only like 30 minutes. So it's like 27 minutes or something like that. Yeah, it's really easy watch. I think that's really all I got.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there's a lot of stuff we're still need to catch up on. We've been watching a ton of baseball. So
A lot of baseball.
there's been a lot of time where normally we would have watched the finale for Rings of Power, which we still haven't watched yet because we've been watching so much baseball. There's an Andor episode that dropped today. It just dropped today, so we haven't had a chance to watch that one yet.
Oh, that's still on?
Oh man, you kill me.
That was said just for reaction.
I know. But yes. There's quite a few episodes left of Andor.
Yeah.
And yes, a new one
Really?
dropped today. Yeah, it's like 12 episode season in.
Yeah, they actually gave us a few
I
things
thought it was only like 8.
to bite off
8 or
of
6.
on this one.
Or is it 9? Maybe, I don't know, but it's a decent amount.
It's a good amount. But yeah.
All right, well, I'm still watching.
Yeah, and of course there's always
House of the Dragon we're caught up on.
House of the Dragon, which we are actually caught up on. That worked out.
I'm not.
That worked out well.
I didn't watch this last week's.
I mean, I'll just say really quick that last episode might be my favorite episode of the season. It was quite good.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're obviously not going
Yeah.
to talk about spoilers, and I'm not even to like kind of jump on. Oh, I just love the ending. Like, no, the entire episode.
No, it's a solid episode.
It is.
The
It's a
writing is
solid episode.
very
of
good.
how
It really.
I liked it.
All right. Well,
From start
no
to finish.
spoilers, please. I haven't
No,
watched
no,
it.
absolutely not.
No,
Thank you.
It harkens back to some of the more really great episodes from Game of Thrones, from the original series, and like it's one of those standouty ones, which is about par for the way Game of Thrones likes to do things. They always make episode 9 or the episode right before the last of the season very on a very
Big.
major note, and this one delivers. So yeah, no, it's good.
That's good.
Quite good.
That's cool.
And then yeah, we had things for Rings of Power spoiled. Thanks,
Oh,
Nerdist.
Thank you to Nerdist News or just Nerdist social media for spoiling Rings of Power for us.
I mean, it didn't
I'm totally
it
calling
didn't
them out right
ruin
now
it.
because totally unfollowed their social media accounts and will not follow them again. So pissed off about that.
I mean, like to clarify, it didn't ruin the entirety of the episode, but
No.
I would say one of the major questions that you have through the entire season totally ruined that they posted on Sunday,
Yeah, 2 days after it dropped.
2 days after it dropped on Friday. Yeah. So yeah, Nerdist.
No spoiler
Yeah.
alert or anything like that. They
No.
just put
No,
it out
So
there.
they do, and they've done this with a lot of the shows that we're all watching, like She-Hulk or a lot of the Marvel shows in general and stuff. Star Wars shows, they'll post something like on like the day it drops. So in this case, Rings of Power dropped on Friday. So on Friday they posted on Instagram is where we noticed this, like a picture with saying like Rings of Power spoilers drop on Sunday, which. I mean, if you know anybody who knows anything about social media, it's not like you just jump into your Instagram feed and you only see like the lasting, like you're not watching them in order that they were dropped or
Right,
they
it's all
were
just totally
posted.
random.
It's
Yeah.
total randomness. Like,
Right.
so we're scrolling through on Sunday and hadn't seen that other thing. If I had, I probably would have already unfollowed them just because I'm like, well, I don't want to see anything. And I still randomly look at my social media stuff like anybody does. And yeah, sure enough, scrolling through Sunday, they had this post, and then it's also just frustrating because it's not news. Like, it's not news to post a plot point from a show. Like,
Right.
I don't even understand what the idea behind it was. Like,
They could have just done a spoiler screen before that caption. They could have just had a slide, like literally just a slide.
Right.
And they didn't even do that. And it's just frustrating because I'm like, you guys know how social media works. You know how the algorithm is. Like David tells me, he's like, they just spoiled it. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I literally opened my Instagram and it was the very first thing when it refreshed. And I was like, well, I know too now. So that's cool. Like, it was just so like, guys, like, it's been 48 hours.
Why would you do that? Yeah.
Like, why
Yeah.
would you do this? And warning us on
I mean,
Friday that you were spoiling things on Sunday without spoiler slides, like spoiler warning slides before the spoiler. Like, that doesn't help me in the way the internet works. That zero help. Twitter even works this way. Like it's just so mind baffling that they did this. Anyway, sorry. I'm
I
just.
mean, you
ranting now.
guys know how I stand. Yeah, you know where I stand. I had somebody ruin the end of Mandalorian. A friend ruined it by posting about. Well, I can say now it's well over a year. Luke showing
about
up.
Luke, yeah.
Yeah.
I unfollowed him like right away, and I even commented. I was like, "Why would you do this?" He's like, "Well, the episode came out yesterday." Yeah, fucking yesterday. Like, what are you talking about, dude? It's Saturday. You give people a chance to actually watch it. I was done. I'm done. I
People
love the
have
kid,
things
but
called
I'm
like jobs. People have family.
Yeah.
They have commitments in their lives and schedules they have to do. Unfortunately, I don't get to just wake up and just watch TV or watch a movie just because I have like that's not how life is, you know.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm just ranting.
But yeah, to go back to
Shows
what
we're
we've been watching, a lot of baseball.
A lot of Padres baseball.
A lot of Padres baseball.
Go Padres.
In my case, Yankees baseball as well. And
let's go Yankees.
actually, yeah, I gotta check the score right now.
Yeah, what is the score?
I don't know. But yeah,
Padres won tonight, and that's really all.
Padres won tonight.
Just
It's 1-1.
That's still 1-1. Okay.
To hell with Houston.
'Cause I even got Michelle to admit that. I was like, you have to at least.
I have to at least admit I would much rather prefer the Yankees win over Houston. However, I am not a Yankees person.
That I can respect, but come on, let's all come together against Houston.
I don't think anybody likes after
people
Houston winning the World Series. Yeah, I don't think anybody in Houston likes. I don't think anybody outside of Houston likes the Houston because of what they did to the league.
Yeah.
They've put a really, really bad mark on baseball with that. And
Right.
I'm trying to think what other
Anyways.
news has come up.
Not much.
No.
No. There was a Creed 3 trailer, but I haven't watched it yet.
There
But I also
was.
haven't seen the other films.
I agree. I've not
So-
watched the other.
Really?
film.
I have
No.
not seen Creed 1
Oh,
or
they're
2.
good.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
The
They-
first one-
to
the
be
first
very
one's really
clear, it's just a total, missed it when it was in theaters, and now it's just, I have not gone to watch it. But
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
they're
get that.
great.
You know how it is.
I
I
get
feel
that.
like there's times when things come out and it's either a bad timing in your personal life or all the things are all coming out on the same weekend. You're like, I can choose 2 of the 5.
Right.
yeah,
You're going, eh.
Well, we'll end with this real quick. I just want to ask you guys, because I'm sure in our next episode, we're going to be talking about this probably the whole episode, but we've got a big film coming out this weekend
We do.
from DC, Black Adam, as we talked about earlier. What is your legit expectations, excitement level, if any, for this movie? Michelle, I'll start with you. Do you even care about Black Adam? Do you think it's going to be very good? Do you think it's going to suck? Come on, give me something.
I think if I had to guess, I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy The Rock in this character. I feel like he really does seem to, from what I can see visually and the few little lines I'm getting, seems to embody it pretty well. My concern is in the script. It's in the storyline, in the way it's all going to unravel. I don't have a lot of faith in DC or the WB, as we've definitely already spoken about ad nauseum. So I don't have a lot of hope in the film actually being decent. I do think The Rock will probably be the highlight of that film. And I think the rest of it's going to be kind of, well, that happened. Okay, cool. I mean, I always will say I hope that I'm proven wrong and I come out of it going, holy cow, that was the best setup film for the next phase, blah, 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 blah. This is going to happen, yada, yada, yada. I hope that that's what happens. Do I think it's going to happen? Not really. So I don't have my hopes super high on it.
What about you, Yasha?
I mean, there's really not much more I can add to what Michelle said. I'm expecting really cool special effects, really cool fight scenes, some probably decent, really cool acting, because the talent that they have is talented in this film. But I mean, I've tried to stay away from reviews, but even some of the reviews and things that they're saying, the story is kind of lacking. So it's just kind of there. But I'm here for it. I will watch really anything that The Rock does, just because he is so amazing with all of his fans and so patient. He really understands it. And I kind of appreciate that from him as a person of influence, I guess you can say. And I think it's cool that he gets into stuff. And I mean, whether even a portion of what he said about this role is true or not, about how excited he is bringing this character to the big screen and playing this character, I think it should be fun. And I'm going in with managed expectations, as Warner Brothers wants us to do.
I can't say much different than what you guys have said. It's a new comic book film. It's a new DC movie. Part of me is like, oh, I should be just pumped that just that alone. And I find myself going, I mean, I want to see this. I like The Rock. I think it's gonna look good. It's based on some of the reactions I've seen too, Yasha, like you alluded to. Not everything has just been like that negative that I've seen. I mean, it seems fairly average, and that's kind of what I'm expecting from the movie.
Yeah, I think the
Fairly average
Rotten
movie.
Tomatoes I think the Rotten Tomato score is something like 48 or 47% or something like that, which is right around the mid range of like, some people like it, some people don't type of thing. So,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Not
I saw
great,
that in
but-
passing. It could be wrong. So either
But,
way,
yeah.
I'm still going to watch it.
That rating is about matches my expectations, I would say.
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah, I have to go with that too.
Like, I wish I were more pumped for it, but I'm just not. So I'm trying to look it up right now, by the way. So
I see
yeah,
that.
55%.
55. Okay.
Oh, it's gone up.
So yeah,
That's not so bad.
yeah.
All I got is R.I.P. Robbie Coltrane.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Shall be
yeah.
missed.
We did lose Robbie Coltrane,
Yeah.
who best known by most people lately is playing Hagrid in Harry Potter films.
Correct. He was in Bond films.
Yeah, I said lately.
Yeah,
No, I know he's.
I know.
Yeah.
No, lately, everybody has Hagrid,
Hagrid.
for sure. No, I agree. Yeah, that was sad. Anyways,
Anyways,
R.I.P.
yeah, I think that's gonna do it this week. Thanks, Yasha, for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always a pleasure to see you.
Sorry, Bobby, it didn't work
I
out. If
know.
you're watching, and
We tried.
thanks everyone for joining us, even if it was a little haphazard since the plans changed last minute.
It worked out just fine.
But yeah, as always, we would love to hear back from everyone listening and watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to leave any questions or comments down below. We would love to hear from you. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever we go live or post any videos in the future. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at Flickr_effect. That'll do it. I'm David Lott.
I'm Yasha Wilson.
I'm Michelle Hillard.
Thanks for listening and watching, everybody.